Welcome you all. In this session, we are going to discuss programmable interval timer Intel 825354 IC. After successful completion of the session, the student would be able to expand the function of Intel 8253 programmable interval timer IC. So 8253 and 8254 are program interval timer designed for processor to perform timing and counting function. Using three 16-bit register, each counter has two input pins, that is clock and gate. These two are input pin and it has one output pin, that is the out pin. So for each counter it has a clock, a gate as input and a out pin as a output pin. To operate a counter, a 16-bit count is loaded in the register. On commanded on command it begins to decrement. So if you want to count up to 16 means initially the 16 value will be loaded into it. For each performance it will be reduced by 1, count will be reduced until it reaches 0. It will be performed. Once it attains 0, it generates a interrupt pulse. So this is what happens in this IC. So now let us see the difference between the 53 and 54 IC. So the 53 IC, it operates operating frequency is 0 to 2.6 megahertz, whereas here 8254 IC, the operating frequency is 0 to 10 megahertz. Here in 8253 it uses NMOS technology, 8254 it uses HMOS technology, and 8253 it read back command is not available, but in 54 the read back command is also available. So in 53 read and write of same counter cannot be interleaved, but here it can be done. So these are the major difference between the 53 and 54 IC. All other things are almost same. So the most prominent features of these ICs are it has three input 16-bit down counters. It can handle interrupt from DC to 10 megahertz, and yeah, these three counters can program for either binary or BCD count. It is compatible with almost all microprocessor. 8254 has a powerful command called a readback command, which allows the user to check the count value, programmed mode, the current mode, and the status of counter. So this is the major advantage of 8254 compared to 8253. So this is the architecture diagram of 8254 IC, and here you can see the major blocks associated with this are a data bus buffer, read write logic, control word register, counter 0, counter 1, and counter 2. And here you can see for each counter you have two input and one output pin. The two input pins are the clock and gate pulse, whereas the output is the out signal. And here the data buffer, which is used to transfer the data between the processor and the IC. It's bidirectional, so and vice versa the transformation takes place. So read write control logic, as usual, the chip select A0 A1 read write, and it provides a control signal for various blocks. So these are the blocks associated with 8254 IC. So this is the pin diagram of 8254 IC. Here you can see the various signals associated with this. For easy to remember this, you have 8 data pins, then you have 3 counters. For each counter you have 3 pins, gate, out, and clock. So there, as usual for any IC you have a ground signal as well as a supply VCC. So in after remaining, or you have remaining the pulse signals which you have are read, write, chip select, A0 and A1, these 5 pins alone. So this is the control word of 8254. Here you can see that it is bit addressable, and here the SC0 and SC1, the first 2 bits are used to select the counter. If both are 0, counter 0 will be selected. If SC1 is 0 and SC0 is 1, the counter 1 will be selected. If SC1 is 1 and other one is 0, then counter 2 will be selected. If both are 1, read back command will be done. So then the mode of operation is based on the M2, M1 and M0. So here I have quoted tabulated the status and which mode of operation will be performed based on the truth table. And read write will be done with the help of or W1 and or W0, these two bits. Based upon these two bits, the read and write operation is performed, and whether it is a BCD or a binary coded, it is done with the help of the first bit, that is BCD bit, D not bit. If it is 0, it is a binary counter. If it is 1, it is a BCD counter. So based on that, you can choose whether you need a binary counter or a BCD counter. So this is the control word format of 8254 IC. Thank you.